during group 6 and 7 is traffic, where you learn about the basic traffic rules. In the Netherlands, it's pretty common for kids to travel.
Hi guys!
Welcome back again to the channel. Today we are going to be checking out explaining the Dutch education system. I know this video is going to have our head blown away.
Yeah.
Because coming from a country where our education system is phew, on the downside. So I'm going to be checking out this one. Let's just get right into it.
If you happen to have watched the college storytime video I made a couple months ago, you'll probably recall me briefly explaining the Dutch education system and how it differs from the American one. I got a couple comments saying people would be interested in seeing a video explaining this system more thoroughly, so without further ado, here's my take on explaining the Dutch education system. I'll go through the entire system step by step in chronological order, so from kindergarten to university. The very first or pre-phase of education over here is called peuterspeelzaal, which roughly translates to toddler playroom. I know, sounds a bit silly, and is pretty much the Dutch equivalent of nursery school. Children ages 0 to 3 can attend toddler playroom, however it isn't obligated to do so. And once a child turns 4, they'll have to enter the next stage of education. This being basisschool, roughly translated basic school, which I'd say is the Dutch equivalent of elementary school. Here children will learn basic skills such as calculating, writing, reading, grammar, crafts, along with a couple of other basic subjects. Basic school consists of a total of 8 grades. These grades over here are referred to as groups. For example, once you enter basic school, you'll be in group 1. The following year you'll enter group 2, and so on and so forth. One subject we're also taught, which I'm not sure
We actually have like till group 6, but recently it was reduced to group 5.
No, it's like nursery 1, 2, 3. I think.
Okay, the nursery. Okay, I think the nursery is
what age does the nursery start from? I can't
You better know because we have a baby now and we don't know what.
Okay, I think the nursery is still under the first one, the preschool, which is 0 to 3. I think from 4 they enter primary 1.
Yeah.
So we have 6. You said they have reduced it to 5?
Yeah, to 5. Yeah, recently
wow,
it has been 5. From 5 you can write the common entrance and.
Oh, okay. Wow. Here they have 8.
8. That's okay.
Americans are. During group 6 and 7 is traffic, where you learn about the basic traffic rules. In the Netherlands, it's pretty common for kids to travel to school.
So you saying the 2 years is to learn about traffic rules and traffic.
I think I have
really
something in my ear.
Outside the curriculum entirely, but it's a very important skill and a very important knowledge a child needs to have.
I'm going to shock you guys with something, right? You know, when they talk about... Now, we're just talking about something as basic as traffic, right?
Yeah.
Do you know that something as basic as history...
We don't do it over here.
We don't do it over here.
That's why sometimes you see us learn history like this and, you know...
Something as basic as history, they don't... Like... is not compulsory, and most schools don't even bother teaching it. For you to say you want to even learn it, you have to go to all these private schools, institution, not government owned.
Wow.
By bicycle, seeing how school buses aren't really a thing over here.
Wow.
That plus the villages often are only 15 to 30 minutes of cycling away due to the Netherlands' small size. So you can imagine what would happen if children were to just cycle along the road, oblivious to all traffic.
That's funny. Okay, I see the reason why the traffic is important.
Yeah.
Near the end of group 7, everyone is obligated to take a cycling exam.
I'm so sorry.
This is cycling exam?
Wait, sorry. This is just off chat a bit, but the cycling... You know, school bus, there's an authority there to watch over the children. Like, is Netherlands that safe that kids can cycle to school, cycle back alone?
That is the obvious thing. It's so obvious. You can even see it. That they don't even need to, you know...
Even within the estates, the environment you stay, when my baby is up to working age, I don't think I can allow her to go more than 3 blocks from where I am.
Only this year.
It's that bad.
Only this year alone. I have seen through people's statuses of missing
kids.
More than 10 this year.
No cap.
This year, this is February, this year alone, in this country.
Missing adults.
Missing adults, missing kids.
What is the kidnap rate in Dutch? Is there any record for
more than
that
10?
even?
When you go to people, when you open a story, you're like, please help me share. Like,
You have to cycle a certain route through town while paying attention to all kinds of traffic boards.
Okay.
Once you pass the exam, you receive your long-awaited cycling diploma.
like a driving test.
All the rules you ever learned. High school students. Besides that, you're also obligated to take the SiWo test near the end of Group 8. The result of this particular test, along with your overall performance during basic school, will determine what level of secondary education you'll be following. By this point, you'll be 12 years old. So this is where things might get a bit complicated. At age 12, you'll enter voortgezet onderwijs, roughly translated continued education, which is the Dutch equivalent to American middle and high school. The thing about continued education is that there's different difficulties of high school to choose from after leaving basic school. This is where the SiWo test comes into play. Depending on the advice you were given in Group 8, you have several options. VWO, which is a rough acronym for Preparing Scientific Education. This is the highest possible difficulty of continued education you can possibly follow, and will take a total of 6 years to complete. VWO prepares its students for WO, which is similar to American University and thus contains the largest amount of theory matter in terms of subjects. HAVO, a rough acronym for Higher General Continued Education. This is the second to highest possible difficulty you can follow and will take 5 years to complete. Whereas VWO often deeply delves into particular subject matter, HAVO tends to cover the more general side of things, plus VWO also tends to have stricter grading methods compared to HAVO. When attending this difficulty, you'll be prepared for something called HBO, the Dutch equivalent of American college. MAVO, roughly translated Secondary General Continued Education. MAVO will take you 4 years to complete and prepares you for MBO. In terms of difficulty, there's quite a gap between MAVO and HAVO, or at least that's what I've heard. VMBO, which is a rough acronym for Preparing Secondary Job Education, which comes in 4 different routes. Each of these routes takes 4 years to complete. These include VMBO TL, the TL standing for Theoretic Education, which actually is just a different name for MAVO. However, due to the negative connotation VMBO tends to have over here, due to it being the lowest level of secondary education, they decided to change its name to MAVO. VMBO GL, the GL standing for Mixed Education, which is pretty much equal to MAVO, except GL adds a job-specific subject, making GL a mix between practical and theoretic subjects. VMBO KB, KB standing for Job Framework, which mainly focuses on practical subjects rather than theory-based ones. Students here learn skills by doing rather than studying. VMBO BB, BB standing for Job Basics, which is pretty similar to KB, except the amount of study load is a lot less. Both KB and BB are there to prepare students for handicraft and other sorts of craftsmanship. Practical education, students who are unable to obtain a VMBO diploma but still wish to enter the job market can be enrolled in practical education. Last but not least, there's also a route called LWOO, which acronym roughly translates to Assisted Learning Education. This route is meant for VMBO students who either struggle a lot with basic subjects like calculation, grammar, reading comprehension, etc., or have severe social emotional problems. Alright, so that's all of them, I think. Yeah. There probably are some more exceptions that I glanced over, but these ones mentioned are the major ones. I could go into detail how each route works, but I'd rather keep this video under 2 hours, so... Anyway, once you've completed any of the previously mentioned routes, you most likely will enter a certain difficulty of college. This difficulty will of course be dependent on what difficulty you completed high school at. We'll start with MBO. As I mentioned earlier, MBO is the type of college you can attend after you've completed MAVO. MBO is categorized in 4 levels. MBO Level 1, Level 2, Level 3, and Level 4, and takes a total of 3 or 4 years to complete. With each level, the amount of independent work activity increases, meaning at level 1 you're an assistant, while at level 4 you're capable of performing specialized tasks. The minimum requirement to enter levels 2 to 4 is that you either have a VMBO or MAVO diploma. You're only capable of progressing to the next tier of college-like education if you complete MBO level 4. From here you have the option to progress to HBO or enter the job market with an MBO level 4 diploma, which is somewhat equivalent to an American associate's degree. HBO can roughly be translated to higher job education, which is the follow-up to HAVO and takes 4 years.
I was thinking of something, right? Like all of these MAVO, HAVO, MBO and the likes of them, do they fall under the same is in the category of secondary school?
No, I think when you get to this HBO now, you're talking about, I think you're talking about the university.
No, I'm talking about the previous sets before getting to this set. Like, is the all of those things she listed like,
yes, those were the secondary.
Are they the same institute or different institute, like different institutes?
I don't think it's
because over here, right?
Institute.
Over here we have different secondary school, different names for it, right? But immediately after your junior secondary school, you move to senior secondary school. And in senior secondary school there's different curriculum, there's different, like you want to be in art, you want to be in science.
That is the curriculum she just listed.
They have all of those things.
So
my bad, sorry.
The follow-up now is I think the follow-up is the university. That's what I'm thinking it is, right?
Okay.
So the secondary school is them choosing the path in which they want to go.
Okay.
Why the follow-up is like the university, where she said that it will take them another 3 years to complete.
Alright, okay, I understand now.
Years to complete. Though of course, graduated HAVO students also have the option to choose MBO if they wish so for. HBO together with WO form the university section of education in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
The main difference between the two though is that HBO focuses more on understanding how things happen and applying acquired knowledge with more supervision, while WO is more focused on why things happen and is more research orientated with less supervision. Though in reality the amount of supervision within HBO is also pretty much non-existent. Watch my college video. Once students complete an HBO course, they'll earn an HBO bachelor degree. Afterwards they can choose to enter the work field or continue studying for an HBO master degree. As I mentioned, WO in contrast to HBO is more focused on the research aspect of subjects. WO can be roughly translated to scientific education and is the follow-up to VWO. Though of course VWO students can also enter HBO or MBO courses. After approximately 4 years, students will be rewarded with a WO bachelor degree. Afterwards they have the option to enter the job field or continue studying for a master's degree, which the majority, as far to my knowledge, tends to do. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the Dutch education system. There's quite a lot of details regarding grading and law-related stuff I left out, but these are pretty much the basic explanations of each department. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again in my next video.
So
Bye!
you're meant to have
Everything, yeah. I think that's the idea. Then for you to finish everything before 24.
Oh, that's impressive. Over here we don't have a time frame for things like that. You can say a 30-year-old man in secondary school. Just move. Just be fast, so you don't miss out the NYC.
Wow.
But it's impressive to see the Dutch system. I would love to see the grading, and I would love to see should I say the payment. The Dutch has scholarship for students.
Definitely,
They
will have scholarships.
I would love to see that part of it, but this explanation is very detailed and is quite different from the kind of system we have over here. And I love the fact that the grading is by age. So you know you are moving at some certain speed. The question I'm having right now is, what if you exceed the 24 years of age?
Oh, you can still
or maybe
continue.
at 26.
Yeah, you can still continue education. Yeah,
Okay,
there's no age limitation, but that is the expectant age.
Okay.
They feel like you should be done. If you start at the proper time without any hindrance, you should be done by it. Just like over here, right? You can see some certain times that 18 or 20-year-old person is already done with everything in school.
So fast.
Because some of them might have gone through the private channels, where they have multiple lesson teachers, helping them move things very quickly and everything. But when you go through the public system, you see that because of sometimes strike, lack of funding,
strike.
stuff like that,
Do you guys experience strike in your educational system? I'm asking a lot of third world questions right now, but please just answer me down there.
I doubt. Even if they do, it does not last as much as it does here. And I don't think they call it strike. It's more like maybe they are trying to get some, some things done, so.
Alright guys, let me know what you think about this in the comment section. Don't forget to like, subscribe. See you on our next one. Bye guys.